Hey there, how's it going? I'm the Fawn. Welcome back to your favorite opinion show, The Fawn's Weekly. Recently, a shill page, which I won't name because they're probably a disgrace to their mothers, posted a list of supposed real stats about Billy and Kid's current administration's achievements. At this point, I can't tell parody from stupidity because it's hard to believe anyone buys this nonsense. It's idiotic from the get-go to think Billy isn't just a bad president, but the best in history. If we're talking cynicism, they've gone all out. The post is entertaining, I'll give them that. Being me, I couldn't resist roasting them and correcting every point. Naturally, my comment was deleted within hours. Since I can't stand that kind of disrespect, here it is live and in living color because, as I said earlier, it's entertaining. As I said in the deleted comment, those aren't stats, it's just brown-nosing. But now, throwing all decency out the window. The best achievement in history at the 2022 World Championships. Yes, the Guadalajara World Cup is this administration's only surprising and praiseworthy result, though not without controversy and suspicion, but that's a story for another time. The downside to the national team's glorious performance that time was that 6 months later, most of the Mexican team didn't even make it to the round of 16 in the Baku World Cup, including several Guadalajara medalists. Even the 2 medals won were below Mexico's historical average for this event. The best result at the 2023 Pan American Games in Santiago. In Santiago, the medal count was historic. 10 total, 6 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze, as the number of events was also a record 13, one more than Lima 4 years prior, and the most since Olympic weight classes began in '99. However, 2 of those 10 medals don't count as they were from the exhibition TK3 event, so 1 less bronze and silver. That leaves 8 medals, just 1 more than the previous best result in terms of medal count since Olympic categories were established without pumps, so really nothing that hadn't been seen before. It was the highest world medal tally ever in the forms discipline. Son, the 2024 Pumps World Championship is Mexico's worst result in history. Moreover, results have been declining since this idiot took charge. But pumps is a tragedy. No support, no clear process. The referees don't know the forms, and the team was handed over to an individual who has been doing whatever he wants, ruining an entire generation of athletes. Current and previous medalists were competing before Billy took charge, so there's been zero development in this discipline under his administration. The best medal haul in Paralympic Games. Well, Paralympic Games can't be compared as there have only been 2 editions, Tokyo and Paris. We can discuss para Taekwondo, when 2 top world classifiers were fired by the Mexican Federation. In both cases, they were immediately hired by World Taekwondo after being dismissed. There's a third case. Professor Veronica Santana, who led the national program, was also fired. She's in a legal labor dispute, and guess what? Also hired by World Taekwondo once off FEMEX's payroll. Mexico now lacks international classifiers except those mentioned above, who aren't called. The stupidity is such that once a national para-taekwondo event was held where even kids competed, despite WT rules clearly stating there's no classification criteria for those ages. International results in this field are more due to FEMEX's lack of involvement than actual work has been done. We were lucky Jeanette Alegria proved to be an excellent coach, though she was placed there not to improve but to fill a gap. If Jeanette had turned out to be incompetent, the team would be in the same or worse state than before. Champions at the 2018 Central American Games in Barranquilla. Kids born during the Barranquilla Games are now in elementary school. When Billy took over in 2016, Mexican Taekwondo was at its peak. But let's talk about the most recent Central American Games. Second place, puncher and all, Mexico couldn't beat Colombia. Grand Prix medals? They've got no shame. If a team is a country with at least 5 Grand Prix athletes, Mexico was the world's worst in all aspects last series. Not only did they win the fewest medals, they lost the most fights and scored the least, while conceding the most points. Medal counts have been declining steadily since 2016. Not to mention the Bulgarian Grand Prix blunder where they forgot to register the team, costing 2 potential direct spots for athletes who ultimately lost them in local and regional events. Most medals in cadet category and world medals in youth categories. Okay, let's discuss junior and cadet levels. There's no follow-up program for athletes in this division. There isn't even a permanent coach to create a program. At least 10 cadet coaches have come and gone during this administration. None have stayed. Currently, no one's officially leading these teams. Abel Mendoza and David Davis started coaching youth, then suddenly switched to adults. The same thing happened with Rene Lizarraga. If this isn't improvisation, I don't know what is. By the way, Billy DeQuaid's administration is the only one without a youth world champion and has won the fewest medals of any color in June. Cadets, even those with international success, have an 80% dropout rate before finishing the youth stage. It brought the para Taekwondo and senior world championship venues. This administration didn't bring the Guadalajara World Cup venue. CONADE, PATU, and the state government directly managed this. In the end, the Mexican Federation was in charge, as public funds for such events must go to a national federation. There's a 65 million shortfall and an ongoing forensic audit on this. And regarding the Taekwondo World Cup, there hasn't been much demand for hosting it either. In the Olympics, despite sending our best athletes, we still can't secure a medal. Not only have we failed to win Olympic medals, we can't even qualify a full team. As I mentioned, in Tokyo, the Federation's negligence directly led to losing 2 direct spots. Many argue Mexican Taekwondo was declining, but Maria's brilliance masked the stats. Guess what? Maria retired just 851 days ago, announcing it at the Guadalajara World Cup. So she was active for most of Billy's presidency, yet even with her, they couldn't achieve much. I agree, the results have been impressively bad. But the only records broken are those of cynicism they've shown for years. You included, you sellouts. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, hit the bell, and tell a friend. Sharing helps, but for more support, check our memberships or visit our online store.